Right at 1:30, we'll get this meeting started. And just to go around, Robin, if I could tag you to kind of do a roll call and check off, and then I'll jump in after you.
Okay, I'm just gonna go down my list, the way it is. John Valerie,
Here,
Matt Montgomery,
I see.
He's on the screen.
Here,
There
sorry.
he is.
That
Dolly
mute
Hall.
button's so difficult.
Here. Mike, Mike is, Brian Henson,
Yep, here.
Stacy Thurman.
Here.
Debbie Link. Donna Angel,
Here.
Christian Wellman,
Here.
Connie Shell,
Is that Connie?
yeah.
Me? I'm here.
Danita Eckler.
Here.
David Sturgill,
Here.
Tiffany Reeves. Here. Colin Mosley,
Here.
Stacy May,
Here.
Kevin Moore,
Here.
Hannah Gregory,
Here.
Todd Blanton,
Here.
Jennifer Hayes,
Here.
Shelley Bottom,
Two o'clock next screen as well. Another one.
Micah Drake.
Here.
And Daniel King.
Here.
Did I get everyone?
Okay. Well, we've got a new member that I would like to badger and ask her to introduce herself to the rest of our group here, if you wouldn't mind.
My name's Danita Eckler. I'm currently working as the Global Learning and Development Manager for Edie Bullard Company. You may have drove past it if you're here in the office. We have a location in Lexington as well as our headquarters in Cynthiana. I'm typically based out of the Cynthiana office, but I've been working in HR for almost 24 years.
Wow.
Glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. And where's the place here in Lexington? I'm very familiar with the one since.
It's right up here on the corner of Fortune and, what is it, Trade?
Yeah,
Trade
it's just a
Center?
couple.
Couple buildings down,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Fuller.
What happens at that office? What happens at that?
We manufacture personal protective equipment, fire helmets, thermal imaging, respiratory equipment, and hard. We're most famous for our hard hat.
Yeah.
We were the inventor of the hard hat in 1919. The Lexington office focuses mostly on sales, marketing, and research development. And then our manufacturing facility is in Cynthiana.
Cool. A little history, we actually wired that place up.
We bought it from you guys, actually, or you guys, I helped you guys move out into your new office over on New Circle, I think.
Oh.
So-
Yeah, let's do that, because it's been a while, and we got some faces that are kind of fresh to some of us. Let's start down at the end.
David Sturgill with BCTC Adult Education.
I'm Debbie Lincoln. I'm with the Child Care Council of Kentucky.
I'm Colin Mosley. I'm the WIOA Accounting Officer.
I'm Kevin Moore, I'm the Workforce Services Manager.
I'm Dolly Collin. I'm the Human Resources Manager at Lifeline Health, Park Regional specifically, and I'm your vice chair.
I'm John Doherty, I'm the Education Director, License Manager, and many other titles within Amtech Electrical Contracting, and we're kind of a nationwide company where our corporate office is just down the street.
News Director, Workforce and Business.
Donna Angel, City of Berea Business Development Director.
Ryan Henson, the Regional Manager with Kentucky Office of Oak Creek.
And Christian Wellman, Business Rep at the Central Midwest Carpenters.
Robin Richmond, Program Assistant with Progress Ed.
And just for the help of making the scatter of everybody's face that we see, if Robin, if you would call a name and let them introduce themselves.
Okay, Stacy, let's start with Stacy Thurman.
Hi, Stacy Thurman, HR Director for Wild Turkey and Wilderness Trail.
Stacy May,
I'm Stacy May, Public Information Officer for the Bluegrass Area Development District, and I think Danita and I know each other.
Matt Montgomery,
Matt Montgomery with SAP Product Marketing.
Daniel King,
Yeah, Daniel King, Schweitzer McGahee and King, local public accounting firm.
Jennifer Hayes,
Jennifer Hayes, I'm the project director for the Kentucky Career Center staff.
Julie Bottom,
Hi, I am Trilly Bottom, Boyle County Judge Executive. Sorry I can't be there with you all in person today, but I'm excited to be here listening.
Micah Drake,
Micah Drake. I am the plant manager at Carhartt in Irving, Kentucky.
Connie Shell,
Yes, Connie Schnell, the Regional Program Manager for Education and Labor Cabinet, Career Development Office.
Anna Gregory,
Anna Gregory, Quality Control Manager with the Bluegrass area.
and Tom Blank.
I'm Todd Blanton. I'm the one-stop operator for the Kentucky Career Centers in the Bluegrass.
And, yeah, let's talk to David.
David Tellinger, I'm the Executive Director at the Bluegrass Area Development District.
I appreciate everybody being here. I'm glad to hear everybody's background a little bit, and welcome.
Thank you.
So we got some business to take care of. Of course, it's our last meeting of the year. We got a couple items to take care of. Those of you that are out there in the virtual area, I just want to tease you a little bit. We got plenty of candy behind me that everybody here gets to touch and eat. Other than that, let's get this meeting going here. We got the first business item is the minutes from our joint meeting that needs to be looked at, any discussion, and you've had them for a little bit. Only a few pages there. We'll be looking for a motion to approve if nobody's got some discussion to talk about.
John, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Always got a motion. Do we have a second? We got a second and a couple of. All in favor, say aye, or in the virtual land, you wave your hand. Aye. Thank you. That moves forward. Let's go to the next. We got, Colin, to talk about our financial report for October. Now, turn it over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. So at the close of business of October 2024, our overall budget was showing 32% expended. We were 23% in the prior year. Our admin expenses were 28% expended. That compares to 32% in the prior year. Our adult expenditures were at 42% compared to 17% in the prior year. Our dislocated worker program was at 22% expended. That compares to 18% in the prior year. And then our youth program was at 27% expended on the overall budget as compared to 27% in the prior year. And then as always, our youth program funds do require a 20%, have a 20% requirement that 20% goes towards work experience out of all of the youth funds. So we were at 5% on that. We're tracking well to cover that. And so also at the very bottom, you see our current DSP invoices. Our September invoice was officially paid on November 18th. And then our October invoice, which was received on the 19th, that it doesn't say that on there, but that one, we are receiving the funds. We were notified yesterday of the funds from the state. So hopefully Friday or Monday, EGWIS will have those funds. So by the time we have our next meeting, that will have been already covered. So.
Well, I just wanted to comment on it, because I've written a note here, so I didn't want to forget what I wrote.
Sure.
But thank you. I think this is a great tool to see that there and that reassurance, you know, that when it was submitted, when it was paid.
Hey, I can't take any credit. That was recommended by the finance committee, and I think it was.
I like that.
Happy to pull that every single month.
Makes it, you know, all comfortable with that.
Very transparent.
It's good.
I did have a question, and this might be a broader question.
Mhm.
Because had other meetings and the work experience seems to be a lot more talked about, you know. So, we got 20% for the youth, work experience, I feel. Maybe it's a broader conversation to bring that percentage up as we look for the future, because that seems to be a common thing as work experience being the golden child to look for funding to be used as. That's something, more of a broader conversation later.
Yeah. One of the things that we're waiting on, because I just got it, late yesterday evening and hadn't fully been able to read it, but I do know with Oswald, they are gonna do a 40% requirement. If it goes through the reauthorization of WIB, for the youth funds, there will be a 40% requirement that it all go for work experience. So, and this time of year's always a little weird for your youth work experience. We usually kick it off really hard in the spring and all that. So, but yeah.
So as the federal comes down, then we'll look at that to be bigger, okay. So, more comment?
Yes, sir. No, anything else that I could add is just to remind everyone that towards the end of this report, I think about 3 or 4 more pages back, you'll see the current grant balances. You'll see all of our open grants that we have. On the far right, it'll show a budget balance, is how much we have remaining. So, for example, the very first one on the page is FY24. It's our youth grant, from last year. We still have about $70,000 left to allocate towards youth in-school program. And then, on the second page, you'll see the 2 latest grants that we received funding for. That was our FY. So every year we receive, PY grants, of dislocated worker and, adult grants. We received those in July. The grants that we received for October, which we received, late November this year. Those 2 are accounted for on here. So our adult program, was about $650,000 we received, and then our dislocated worker was about 1.14 million. So those 2 are now in hand. So, if anyone has any questions about what's on here or, anything prior, is that,
Back up to the in-school youth, you said it's still there.
Yes. Yes, so as we receive grants, we do first in, first out. So, we generally run youth in-school program funds a lot slower than we do.
Right,
youth out of school.
the in-school connection is problematic. So
Mhm.
I was wondering, we've got this to spend, we feel good about spending that? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we have until June of 2025 next year. Our current run rate, we should be done in the next 2 or 3 months. So.
And normally with our in-school youth, whenever we start Thanksgiving and Christmas, really hitting to try to figure out our in-school youth flexes, because during spring break is when it kicks, because as long as they're enrolled, if we enroll them into the program while they're in school, they're considered in-school youth, even if those WEX hours run throughout the summer after they've graduated high school.
Good.
So, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else in the, audience there have a question or comment?
I would just say we reviewed this actually this morning again in the finance committee meeting, and I mean similar questions. I think so Donna, to your comment on the transparency in the beginning, we just did ask for anything that was going to take longer than a calendar week to be documented there, just so that we could see what it was, right, that was causing a delay. So if we saw any sort of like there's delays in the state, that we can be more proactive about escalating. And also the other thing Tiffany was talking about in talking to the other areas, are we different in our payments? Are we faster? Are we slower? And it seems like we're right on with other workforce areas. Just they had some coaching, and maybe Tiffany, you just want to even comment on that, just was sometimes when the state only lets you have one draw at a time, or if the state, there's some art to the timing, I guess, just to make sure that you don't let things stack up, to make sure that we're paying everybody. But we're really happy to see that, sort of under 45 days is a great target, and we're hitting it in both cases. We just want to make sure that we don't, we have that transparency and don't run into any delays.
Thank you, Matt. I think it's a great thing, and to be able to push money through that quickly and get everything paid is amazing to me for the state, so very good.
Yeah. But I know Colin and Michael are doing a great job of kind of pushing on that and making sure that we talked about this morning, timing the things like when we transfer, as we always do, from dislocated to adult to cover those funds, that we're doing that off a payment cycle cadence so that that gets resolved before we get our payments in, and all of it's good. So again, just appreciate what the team's doing there. But we were pushing them for all kinds of details this morning on the finance committee.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? We need to approve this, the report. Or is it this? Okay, so we'll look for go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the finance report.
And a second is asked. We got a second at the end. All right. And all in favor, aye, or wave your hand. Aye. Any opposed? Just throw that out there. Okay. Moving on, that looks good. Action items, we've got approval of the Lexington Career Center and comprehensive, two comprehensive, I'm sorry. And that's all you.
For transparency reasons, as we always do, the KWIB certified the Lexington Career Center as the comprehensive because we've got all our partners here and some extra partners that some of the other areas don't have, so that makes me very happy. But we would just like you all for transparency to vote on the approval that the Lexington Career Center will be the comprehensive career center.
And just to let everybody understand what that means, all the different players, tell them what all the different players are.
Oh, okay. Todd might have to hop in here on this with me so I don't forget anybody. So for a comprehensive career center within WIOA law, you need WIOA services, CDO, Office of Unemployment Services, which is CDO services as well, OVR, adult ed. As far as we are here, we also have Job Corps, we have the Child Care Council. Am I forgetting anybody, Todd? We've got the vet program.
No, if you got the major ones there.
Okay.
So it's all like a one stop for every possible thing you think of, right?
Yes, and the best thing, like, the good thing about having your one stop with so many partners in it is when someone comes in to get UI assistance, right? Then they're also trying to find another job. So then Connie's staff, which is CDO, which is right on this other side, will meet with them and say, okay, let's look for jobs, right? And then maybe they need CDO staff realizes that they, in talking to the individual, that they have a visual impairment or something like that, then OVR is here. So then we just go to, let's get you to OVR. And then whenever OVR gets done with them and says, well, maybe you need, upskilling or something like that, well, let's just go talk to WIOA. I remember at one point, me and Kevin were in the Georgetown Career Center, and it works best when you can have all your partners in the same place. Makes it easier for the individual, because if you've never been laid off, when you're laid off, every single penny counts. And it's sad whenever you have places that somebody has to go here and then they gotta drive over here. Well, they just don't have the same amount of money they used to have. So yeah, that's what that's about.
It's a great thing. So with that, I figured everybody enjoyed the explanation with what that actually entails. That's kind of a big thing, right? For the process, we're looking for a motion to approve that we are now comprehensive.
I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you, sir.
I'll second that.
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor, aye, or wave your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I wouldn't think so. In fact, we might talk about that some opposed. All right, back to you.
Yeah, so here's the thing, on B and C, this agenda was made before a meeting was set in place. We have a meeting Friday, me and Todd, to discuss with CDO and OVR and all the partners, the future of the Georgetown Career Center and how it all plays out. Okay? CDO holds the lease now. So there's been some question as to if they want to remain in that site. So truth be told, I'll have more information on Friday. So we could maybe skip those if it's okay to table these until we get more information, and I will cover it after the first of the year, whenever we have that meeting.
Who has the lease on?
CDO, the state. We currently pay for our space that we use over there, we pay, right, a little bit over 12,000. And I don't want to be a leaseholder for the building. I mean, I'll make that plain and clear. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of cost. While we do get reimbursed because we are the leaseholder for here, right? We are the leaseholder for Richmond, but, it's a little bit of work to get it off.
We won't talk about Richmond.
It's a little bit of work to get, everything to line out, just with every organization and program's got their different guidelines and different steps they have to go through. It can take a little while for money to start getting paid back to us if we take that lease over. So I'll just know more after me and Todd will know more on the meeting.
What's the foot traffic like at Georgetown?
So I'll jump in real quick, Tiff, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So the reason that this is being talked about at all, the landlord, the current lease is expiring, and the landlord has kind of indicated to the state that he's wanting to raise the per square foot lease rate. And no matter what that amount is, if it's 1 cent over what they're currently paying, they have to put that back out for an RFP. So their conversations are started. Do we want to continue being there? Right now, per month, we're seeing anywhere between 60 and 90 folks that are coming into Georgetown. The majority of those are OVR clients. Some of our WIOA clients are coming in there, but the bulk of those are vocational rehabilitation clients. So this meeting on Friday is going to be with some folks at the cabinet and Ryan and Connie. And we're all just going to kind of have a discussion on it. If this lease is going up, in fact, do they want to put out an RFP for another career center in Georgetown? Or are we kind of okay with it going away just due to the low number of foot traffic that we're going to see there, and letting OVR go ahead and find their own location there? So that's kind of what spurred everything. That office you used to see when we had all the partners there and OET was there. It was a busier office since they took the unemployment insurance and OET folks out back in 2016. 60 to 90 is about what we've been seeing for the last, 6 to 7 years. So with Lexington being a comprehensive, that's going to make sure that we're in compliance with having a comprehensive center if it was to go away. But that's kind of what spurred this conversation that we're having on Friday with everybody. And kind of we'll know a little bit more, like Tiff said, after Friday as far as what everybody's wanting to do.
And by no means, if whatever happens, services will still be provided in Scott County, right? It's no different than if we don't, the counties that we don't have brick and mortars in, we are at the adult eds, you know what I mean? We're at the libraries. So services will still be provided. It's just, there might not be a brick and mortar there.
And I would say, Todd, that since we're right there by the existing facility, that AE could certainly serve as an affiliate site there. If that's the route that
if that happened, David, you're going to be my first call.
Yeah.
We're gonna hold him to his word.
Yeah.
That's a great option.
It is.
Hey, Tiffany, can I mention something as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So with our staff on our CDO staff that actually work with veterans, I assure you that if we are not at that location, as she mentioned, that we can see in the local library there. Our vet staff, our JVSG staff can meet with veterans that needing our services without a problem, and they'll find a location to meet one-on-one with them because we always want to go to where they are and not make them, have another barrier on their plate, to actually get to where we are. So I just want to assure that, we're providing services to veterans always, no matter where they are.
Yeah, because now I know in Scott County, the vet services meet with a lot of individuals at Amen House, right, which is a homeless organization there. So yeah,
So on action item B and C,
We're
we're
just-
just to table those
We
until,
need a motion.
yeah, we need a motion to table.
I make the motion to table, please.
Thank you. So B and C, motion to table, second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I wouldn't think so. All right, so, and now, we're gonna have an executive meeting before the full board meeting. You need to put that on the agenda for executive, or full
Yeah.
or both.
Executive will be in February.
Yeah.
Full boards will be in March.
Yeah.
so I'll have it on the executive.
Okay. And then, of course, if anything is necessary, you can call
Oh, yeah.
a special meeting if needed. All right, D item is meeting dates, and that's Robin, and I see in our packet, we've got a nice calendar, which I love.
So
Yeah.
the highlighted dates are based on the schedule we use for this year, which is the first Wednesday of the second month of each quarter. We can go with those or we can change them, whatever works best for you guys. And
You
just-
guys are like me, we gotta look at
Yeah.
your,
And keep in mind, the September meeting will be the joint meeting training. And you guys, this board is responsible for the scheduling and choosing the topics, and all of that, so.
These dates are fine with me. Once we confirm, will you send out a calendar?
Budget calendar, please.
We're keeping the time the same.
Yeah,
1:30.
1:30.
Anybody got, some?
I think it should be longer.
Anybody got some issues with this? I mean, right now's the time to voice your, absolutely, I can't make it, can we move it? Conversation.
You avoided Fayette County spring break, fall break, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, I'm in.
Nobody's got any, problems or issues with these dates and time. Look for a motion to approve as highlighted.
I can't be there in June or September.
June or September, is there an alternate date you'd like to promote? Within that same month, or are you gonna be gone the whole month?
No, June, that one day in June, is when we are having a scheduled, first responder, episode here where we're gonna, have a potential bus wreck and all first responders and, our EOC command will be, participating in that. So on that one particular day, in September, I will be gone the whole first week of September.
I think it's the week of the holiday. Yeah, but it's Monday, the first will be Labor Day.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, I'm fine with specific September, so we're kind of talking about that. I'm okay with it moving down the next week if others are, instead of the third going to the 10th on September.
Since that's the joint meeting, we usually do the.
Oh, that's-
later. So that would actually be good to move it.
And we gotta get Leo's chiming on that though. Okay. So,
I mean, I can miss one meeting. Don't do it just on my account.
well, since it was mentioned that Labor Day is there, we're probably gonna have a lot of other people who might have the same issue, some type of schedule issue.
Yeah,
So I'm moving that to the 10th if everybody else is on September.
yeah, I'm not available either of those days, but that's just me, so.
The 10th, you gonna be gone the 10th too?
Well, I'm going on an Alaskan cruise. And so I'm gonna be gone for about 2 weeks.
You don't need to do that.
That's what she's saying.
I think we just need to change the meeting location to the northwest.
Wait, no, wait, a minute. Wait. I may have it on my calendar wrong. We're leaving the end of August, 1st of September. I do. I'm available on the 10th. Sorry about that.
Okay. Then you can tell us how the trip was.
I will, yeah.
Okay. And let's move to June and look at, see if anybody's got issues with that. I definitely do. I can tell you that. But, is it just that one day that you were?
Let me see, June.
I'll be gone the next one.
Yeah, that one day in June. Then the following week is a county judge and magistrates conference.
Okay. Does anyone have a problem with maybe moving that to Thursday that week?
No.
Because Thursday the 5th works for me, but does it work for others?
I know, I just texted Bob that I turned that unit off and it is still running.
So
I blame Tom.
the option is for June the 5th.
Break the AC, Kevin. That's the best option.
Well, it should work if you turn it off.
It's still blowing. It's still blowing.
Yeah, the fifth is fine for me.
Okay. So recapture this, verbally, I'll go through. March the 5th, June the 5th, September the 10th, and December the 3rd. That is the revised dates as per our conversation. If someone wants to add to it, we'll do something else. Works for you.
Yeah.
So Alaskan cruise is not disrupted.
Make a motion to approve with said changes.
All right, we got a motion. So got a second. All in favor with the revised dates as stated? Aye. Any opposed? I think we can talk about that. All right, cool.
Is
Got
that at the
that?
same time at 1:30?
Yeah, 1:30. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And Robin promises that she will send out reminders on Outlook,
The calendar invites.
calendar invites, that's what they call it. Okay.
And it's just saying, Alaskan cruise sounds really good right now.
I'm thinking that. I think she needs to bring us all back, something.
Souvenirs.
Yeah, some type of souvenir.
For accommodating, bring it back.
Well, I really appreciate it. Maybe a can of tuna or something.
I can state for us that Hannah and I will both take bear cubs.
That would be awesome.
All right, now we're down to our informational items. We got DSP, OSO, those acronyms that Tiffany's gonna tell us what those mean.
DSP is direct service provider, OSO is the one-stop operator. So, we have to put out the RFP this year, as far as to let everyone know, John Daughtery, Matt Montgomery for the WIB are on the little committee, and Judge Bottoms is on the committee to pick. The reason I have this in the packet is it gives the dates of all the timeline, right, on when we're gonna submit it out. You'll find it on that very first page. We'll release it, on March 14th, through press release, public ad, and all that stuff. Proposals will be due by April 30th. And now, Stacy, what we had planned, make sure that I'm saying this correctly. Whenever the proposals come in, we will send them out to you all. We will have a digital document that you all can make your comments on, that you and, Judge Bottoms and Matt can make their comments on. And then we will set up a meeting, hopefully sometime and it can be by Teams, it doesn't have to be in person, for your all's final decision. And we decided that that would be in the month of May, correct, Stacy?
Yes, and in the past, and we'll continue to do this, as a way of keeping everything transparent, all the submissions go online, as Tiff mentioned, as a digital document. So there will be one page where you can reference any of the submissions. You'll be able to get to the links from those. The questions and answers section of the RFPs will also be posted to the public. We're giving ourselves, I think it's about I think it's 48 hours to respond. I'll have to double check that number, but roughly 48 hours to respond to any questions that come to us from people who are interested with a cutoff date. All of that will be posted to the public. And then the scoring matrix at the end will also be available to the public once the negotiations has been worked out and the contracts have been signed. So everything like that will stay open and transparent online. So.
Was it
Go ahead.
safe to say we would know at the June meeting?
Well, the proposals are due, so that, if the proposals are due on 4/30, June 5th, that gives, yeah, because I'm thinking May is 4.
Yeah.
I'm missing a month there. Absolutely, you all should know about June 5th. But I was like, wait a minute, that's just a few days. We got a month in the middle there. So yes.
So by June, our June meeting, we'll be able to finalize the approval of the board.
Yeah, you have a month from the end of the submission date to do the matrix and then the negotiation process for the contract for any changes, any negotiations that fall outside of what is listed in the RFP requirements.
How often do we put out another RFP? That's annually?
It's either 3 or 4. 4.
Because we're on the same cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, everything is due by 6:30, it seems like. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love being the director. However, in my first year, we had the interlocal, the local plan, the regional plan, the RFP, like everything. And I'm just like, whoo. Trial by fire.
I think it's ever 4, because somewhere I said this will be my last one, so I can retire. So I got one more to do.
What a way to go out.
I know.
Retirement denied.
Okay,
Very good.
so that's action for us to be dealing with in the future. Now we got strategic plan, deeper dive.
Okay, so at our joint training, I had my PowerPoint set up. I had all my notes. However, in a panicked moment, whenever I looked down at my notes, it could have been Egyptian hieroglyphics, right? So I'm gonna actually go over the parts that we have that, because if you all had a copy to the link, that we're all in the good on, we're good, we're rolling along right as we should, right? I'm just gonna focus right fast on respect of everybody's time on the goals and objectives that we're maybe in the light green on, or we're in the red on, to discuss what's happened and what we're doing to correct it, okay? So on goal 1, it was to increase Kentucky Career Center Bluegrass, service awareness through direct communications, public relations, and virtual outreach efforts to better serve our community. So our measure with that is a dedicated staff will provide increased press releases, relationship building with local media, and improve, right? Awareness. We're in the light green here just because we did have a reduction in staff. But the one thing too, like each quarter, the board staff provides narratives to the Department of Labor and all that. However, sometimes those don't get picked up, right? It's just what it is. So we are technically doing this. It's just as far as you may not see it in the newspaper. Okay, but if y'all would like to, anytime that we do send a little press release, we can start including that in the packet for an informational item. Because I know each quarter I have to send them for the youth legislative funds on everything that we've been doing. So if y'all would like, we can include that in your informational packets right behind like the DSP report. So.
I think any press release, you do that monthly? Something like that?
Quarterly, well, the press releases, Stacy, help me out here. Normally it's when something big happens. I know that I have to report every single quarter to the KWIB and to the legislature about anything that's going on with, as far as the KWIB with our WIOA programs. I provide updates to them on our initiatives and things. And then on the legislature, it's with that youth funding that we have.
Here's a question, is it something palatable on emailable ideas? Not some large chunk of information?
Oh, it's usually like, it's bullet points and it's no more than 3 paragraphs.
I'm just thinking that could be, an email to all the board.
Okay.
As you send them out.
As I send it to them, I send it, okay.
I'm just, on my other stuff I deal with, not this, I get constant information, whether I read it or not, at least it's there.
Okay.
You gotta realize. I didn't want to, 1,000 emails, but, it is good, if I need to deal with something, you would let me know, but
Right.
it's just that information share is always good.
Okay.
I'm sure Matt gets, 1 or 2 emails a day.
So as I send,
Just one.
as I send our success stories and our highlights to the KWIB, and the legislators, I'll include you all in that email.
Yeah, just the CC.
So the next measure that we are in the orange on, right? It is goal 1. It is our measure 4. It's increase the effectiveness of existing partnerships and engage in new community partnerships. Increase the number of new partners who serve the hard to serve clients by 3 each quarter. We're working on this, right? We partnered with KTAP, with the Kentucky Works program. We are partnering with JAG because for those that don't know, JAG is Jobs for America's Graduates. Those are in-school kids, right? But once they graduate, they kind of fall off a little bit, and JAG does have some funding to assist with our 18 to 24-year-olds. And then Everybody Counts. We're also increasing, trying to increase our partnerships with community organizations. But when you start saying, I'm going to try to find 3 new each quarter, you will eventually run out, right? So a lot of it has to do with the strengthening of it, because you have BGCAP that they hit our counties too, but like you can't say we're just partnering with BGCAP and Danville because they hit the whole. So we have to be more strategic about increasing a better relationship with our ordinary community partners. That makes sense. That's what I'm saying.
We read that goal one time. Or
The objective, increase the effectiveness of existing partnerships and engage new community partnerships. Increase the number of new partners who serve hard to serve clients by 3 quarterly.
I think that's, that number might be too much.
Well, and it's.
Maybe that statement's too much.
It's, the thing is like, there's only so many organizations that actually have the funds that they can pay for eligibility documentation, like a driver's license, right? There's only so many.
Right.
So,
Did you increase interactions or increase?
well, listen, we're working on the relationship.
Yeah. So how many touch points you have, or
Yeah.
instead of
I think the ideal is good, but the quantity statement is a little much.
Well, yeah. So, but we're doing it. You know what I mean? I don't think that we've had, Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't think that we've had an individual that needed eligibility documentation or something like that, that we do not have a resource that we can reach out to, because our resources, we're like a spider. We touch a whole lot of different organizations and they touch us too. So, but everybody that's needed eligibility documentation and things like that, we've been able to connect them, correct, Jennifer?
That's the state plan, they're, what caught my eye with it is.
Yeah.
They're in the red too on the labor force. This state.
Yeah.
It's a battle everybody's.
It is. So, then the next one that we are in the orange on, a little further ahead, but still orange. It's go to, the objective one is increase awareness of educational resources and tools available for job seekers and industry partners, right? So the one thing that I have really tasked Riley with doing is normally our business service meeting, right? He has it quarterly. On average, there's about 10 or so. But I want to expand that, right? To me, that's about the only way that you can help to educate employers, and they can educate us as well as to what the employers are seeking. So I think the last business service, I think he had about 15, but the one before that, he had 30. So, and it's private, public, it's whatever business that we can get connected with, whether it's community programs, you know what I mean, or like the band tech with you, so. Well, that's those two, and I think I only got one more. Good. This last one, it's go to, number 4, the measure is at least 5% of our youth participant enrollments shall come from at least 5 school systems at the Bluegrass. Every bit of that had to do absolutely with the, previously with the staff reduction, but with the youth legislative funds, I know how many people's on that referral. I think there's 15, there's been 11 youth enrolled
Right.
into the.
But that sheet doesn't, we started that sheet after the other one, so there's been probably over 20 referred, so 11 enrolled.
Yeah. So that's it. That's my last measure that we was in the yellow on. This one, this is the increase the partnerships on the hard to serve again. So by 3 or 4.
I think quantities, you know.
You just run out. You just run out of
Yeah,
partners.
maybe revisions in the future with quantities.
Yep.
The statement's good, the action's good, but the quantities maybe we need to.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah. So that's it, cause like that day at the joint training I did, I mean, it was hieroglyphics. I had no clue what I was looking at. We all have those moments.
I guess probably one thing on that, but it kind of goes with it, it's, I guess, it's a way to reduce it or make it attainable on there is meeting with them, not so much create the partnership, but start conversation 1 quarterly instead of 3 quarterly and
Yeah.
kind of getting that one where it doesn't have to be established, but at least be, and it'll be more attainable from there to lead to 1 year, 2 year. That way you don't hit that, cause it'd be hard to, it'll always be in the red or orange on it.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when, you know, everybody's doing hard work and you're like, come on, this line's not moving at all. So. Okay, but that's it.
Any questions from our audience there? I always think this, you know, everything I hear, especially coming up from Jennifer and Todd, you know, the outcome of what I see, movements happening. You know, I appreciate what's happening. This little gray sheet, the orange color, whatever, to me, it doesn't represent the whole. It's just that little thing. You know.
Yeah.
As a whole, awesome. Nobody's been perfect always, correct?
We like to be though. We want to be, sorry. It's an arrogance about me. Sorry.
Going back to the awareness, I'll just share a quick success story because it really was, very good to hear this. Orlando is great and rolls in with the team on anything we ask in Maria to help us. But the mayor and I were called to one of our industries a couple of weeks ago to meet with some of their out-of-state, upper leaders. So we go in panic and fear, you know, of what they're downsizing or what's about to happen. But the third slide that they showed on their screen was promoting and thanking Bluegrass Ad and our city for working together to help them staff up to 200 employees in their factory over the last 3 years. And they complimented it great because it was such a hands-on, but 49% of the employees that they hired are still there a year later. And they said every time they try to do an HR single job fair, it was just, they couldn't keep 5% of the employees. They were gone in 30 days. So what your team does out there is amazing in our communities, and we do need to keep that just constantly going and helping. So, but we were so tickled when we saw that on the screen. So
Love it.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this. Okay, next item is still, we're talking about, SETA.
Yeah, I'm very excited to say that we had 2 sessions chosen for SETA to present at SETA. One is using social media for recruitment and branding. Stacy will take the lead on that one, and I will be her little helper. And then on the second session, it was the Estill County project, bringing workforce solutions to rural communities. Jennifer and Crystal and Hannah will be presenting on that one. For those that don't know, SETA is the Southeast Employment and Training Association. Dolly can tell you, she was on the SETA board for a term. They get anywhere between about 600 to 800 proposals.
Yep.
So it's very exciting whenever we get chosen. DOL's there. It's considered a best practice, so we're very excited about that. We also had, remind me how we're gonna do this. Anyone that would be interested in attending SETA, please email Robin. And we have space for calling. How many did we decide?
We said at 8 was very doable.
As far as
And we
open
have
seats, I think
Yeah.
we got down to 4, right?
Yeah, potentially 3 to 4 board staff, 3 to 4 board members as well.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So, SETA will be in the spring. It's March 16th through the 19th. It's at Myrtle Beach. So,
And the Child Care Council is gonna also present,
yeah.
on child care and
Awesome.
how to connect child care with industry, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So 3
Bluegrass is just taking over SETA. That's what we like.
So, back to that opening invitation for Robin to get emails. We do have a timeline, right? Do we need to get these, whoever's interested in to Robin as quickly as possible, because there's a timeline in which those seats need to be chosen and, then fulfilled, right? Robin,
Yeah,
take over.
usually a couple weeks before we need to, because we'll have to do the hotels first. But what I'll do again is I'll send out an email, are you interested? And then you can reply to it.
There you go. So everybody will get an email.
You don't wanna be in the overflow.
No, you don't.
Right.
And for anyone that's never been, if you want to learn about workforce, if you want to network, it's really, really good. There's a lot of times, that I've went to sessions and I'm like, oh, we're gonna wash, rinse, and repeat that in Bluegrass, right? Cause you get so many different good ideas and perspectives and all that stuff. It is a wonderful conference to attend. They have a spring and a fall one. But like I said, spring one's coming up March 16th to the 19th.
And, Robin, can we give everybody in the audience here a statement on when we want those emails back? Because I know there's timelines here.
So for today, So today's the 4th, so by the 18th.
So by the 18th of December, please reply to Robin's email she'll send out. And what we've decided, just so everybody understands, if we get more interest, which is great, then we'll put names in a hat and, have some anonymous person draw out until we run out of seats, okay?
And how do we benefit you while we're there, for example?
If you go to a session, okay, normally we divide and conquer, right? Because they have tons of sessions. And if like when we're presenting, if there's a session that is very important, like I would say, Donna, can you go to this one? And then I'll say, give me your notes, give me your PowerPoint and let me go over it. That's how we always do. There's kind of like a debriefing that we all do to say, hey, I wasn't able to go to that one. What did you do? I don't like it. There has been times, Bob Knight, whenever he presents, pretty much everybody goes and listens to Bob Knight. He is a WIOA guru. He knows, he usually has the pulse on what's happening in Washington with workforce and all that. That's usually the only session that we all go to, but we all just try to divide up and hit as many good sessions as we can.
I enjoy it greatly because while we're there, each of us go to different sessions. And then we all go to a dinner together and we kind of brainstorm what we heard that day. And then even more, on the travel back and forth, it's just great. So I encourage everybody who wants to go to, set your calendars allowed, allow you to go. And then put your name in the hat, so to speak. But like I said, we are limited on how many seats there are. And honestly, they'll be pulled out of the hat. Like a lottery, you might win. But you can't win if you don't play. All right, we'll move on. Anybody questions about setup? Good to go? Okay, Jennifer, talk about direct service provider.
I'm gonna give Todd the chance to jump in front of me if he needs to. I think he's,
Yeah, I'm about to have two sixth grade girls in the car chatting away. So I'll give my report real quick before they get in here. So in your packet, you'll find my report for October. Just a couple highlights from it. You'll see the employer meetings and the traffic numbers that we had. We're still doing huge numbers as far as referrals go. 154 in the month of October. I just ran them from November and we had another 125. So those referral numbers are still just through the roof. You'll see all the hiring events and VR events that we did there in October. And one of the big things we did with all of our partners there with Connie's staff's help and our staff, when Cody laid off there in Danville, we were on site pretty much the entire month of November and towards the end of October, offering on-site resume assistance and workshops. We did the rapid response sessions for about 200 folks there that were employed. And we just had a rapid response yesterday and talked to a gentleman that was with Connect and the CHFS cabinet. And he had given a report to the governor's office, just noting that they had been out at Cody as well. And the governor's office expressed some interest as far as what those services were. So I think Rolando's going to kind of touch base with this gentleman, but it looks like they weren't really aware of what we've been doing there at Cody, but it did reach the governor's office and they were really interested to see all the assistance that we've been giving those 200 folks there. So that's always a good thing for us to get noticed. And we always have one of the best attended rapid responses as far as our partners go. So just another highlight of how good we work together with all of our partners there. But I'll submit that report. And if anybody's got any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
And for anyone that doesn't know what a rapid response is whenever a company is laying off, you bring every partner that you can to the table. CDO comes, someone from UI comes, retirement system comes, WIOA comes, adult ed comes, BCTC comes. Just as many resources as you can right there on site for those individuals. A lot of information gets thrown at them, right? But they also get a packet, they get a digital packet so that when they have a call minute, they can go back and look back through all of it.
Great. Now back to Jennifer, right?
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you, Todd.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm gonna turn my camera off because I always freeze and you guys always laugh at me. So I've been laughed at so many times on the screen. But anyway, in the packet, you'll see the October report. I give Tiff a monthly report. And so you're looking at the October one. And so just to hit a few highlights, we have, well, first of all, I want to say this, 9 out of 11 of our frontline staff were hired in 2024. So when I hear the compliments of like all the good work that we're doing, that's really impressive for us because they're all brand new staff. And so I think that goes to show that we have really good leadership above us with Tiff and her team that are supporting and guiding us. And then also wanted to mention, just I took a couple notes as everybody was talking, but Tiff was talking about the strategic plan and about the increased partnerships with the hard to serve. And although that eventually those partners would run out, the participants never run out. So those participants are unlimited. We can serve them all day long. And as Todd reflected, the referral numbers are up. And so the numbers are definitely coming in. Our enrollments so far for the program year are 50, which is right where we want to be. And so one thing for you all to know is that we don't enroll every person that we ever help. So there's the difference in the WIOA law between basic career services and individualized career services is that we help everybody that we come in contact with. So all of those referrals are getting emailed or called back. But all of those people that we help don't necessarily hit our enrollment numbers. So that's always important, I think, for people to understand. And then we will probably start to increase some enrollment numbers in January, I expect, just because I know Kevin and I over the past few weeks have been on site at BCTC in partnership with the Refugee Initiative program they have. And then I know that our team has been partnering with some childcare initiatives. So I know that we have little cohorts and little initiatives in the work. So those enrollment numbers are going to start increasing, based upon that. We have currently, I know that you all talked about work-based learning and WEX numbers earlier. We have 8 WEXs that are actively working on our payroll right now. So that's a good solid number based on our budget. That's right where we need to be. And then on page 1, I will jump over to the right. I highlighted Natasha Collier for the month of October. She's a brand new staff. She joined our team in July as a case manager. We call them TDS. So if you see TDS, that's a case manager. But we have so many referrals coming in wanting CDL training. And we have funded a lot of CDL training this program year. And so, but we get more referrals in than we have the funding to pay for. So Natasha took initiative on her own without anybody asking and created a little spreadsheet, a little document with all the different employers that offer like trainee CDL programs, that pay for CDL if they'll sign a contract with them. And so I thought that was pretty cool because staff are flooded with CDL referrals. And although those are very easy enrollments and very great outcomes, we just don't have the funding to pay for everybody that's interested in it. So I wanted to highlight her in that initiative. Then you'll also see just all of our outreach on page 1. We continue to be on site at libraries, adult eds, lots of recovery centers. And so that's the thing that I believe that our group makes us stand out is that the Bluegrass workforce area, our staff go out into the community. So we're not waiting on the job seekers to come to us. We're actively on the ground in our 17 counties. So I think that's definitely something that we're very proud of. And then, so for example, in the month of October, we were on site at Cody or R.R. Donley twice a week doing career services with those people. And the majority of those people, my staff said that they didn't know how to write resumes. So they just individually wrote resumes one after another while they were there. And so it's pretty impressive that they were on site there meeting the needs of the community and, meeting the needs of the employer, as well. So that's page 1. And then on page 2, Tiff briefly mentioned putting Young Kentuckians first. And so that's a program where we're seeking young adults, primarily 18 to 24, that are not interested in pursuing a post-secondary education. So we know that there's a lot of those young adults out there, and we've been in, high school after high school. We're meeting with JAG specialists. We're meeting with the ATC instructors. We're meeting with adult eds, and we've got, we're going to be hitting all of our counties and all of those places. But we're on site lots of job fair and events. So I just have Angela's outreach listed there just to show you all where she's at. We're not trying to create high school dropouts. So right now her goal is to be on site making connections with the counselors, with the JAG specialists. So she's making those key relationships. And when the year first kicked off, I went to Tiff and I was sort of panicked and I was like, I don't know exactly how to take this off. And she said, calm down, just go out there and build the relationships and the numbers will come in later. And so that's exactly what we've done. And we feel real confident about how we're going with that initiative. Okay, so, and then also on page 2, you'll see the workshops. And so every single week, our staff are available twice a week for virtual workshops. So that's people that can't make it into a library, can't make it into an office. So they bring the workshops virtually to anybody. And then we provide workshops out in the communities too. So like, for example, we're on site at Isaiah House every month. And then we have started being on site at Fresh Start. That is a recovery center in Frankfort. And then, so a handful of recovery centers, but we'll go where the demand is. So if somebody called me today and said, can you come and do a workshop next month? We would have staff on site wherever that would be. And sometimes those workshops are just resume assistance. And sometimes those workshops are how to prep for an interview. So it's whatever the needs are. Also have our job fairs and events listed. And I counted up while we were on this call, but so 468 students and job seekers had access to KCC staff during the month of October, just by us being present at job fairs and events. And so that's a pretty big number that we're able to serve in the community. And then I've listed on page 3 all of our business service contacts. So these are the employers that Tamara and Alicia Gooch, that's our business service team. They're out on the streets hitting these employers because, the WIOA law says we have 2 customers. We have the job seeker and we have the employers. So they're working with the employer side. And then lastly, I have the success stories, and I have 8 this month. And so for whatever reason, well, we know the reason, they have increased drastically because Tiff has given monetary handouts for success stories out of her own pocket, by the way. But so those 8 success stories, and I wanted just to mention one of them briefly. I don't want to take a lot of your all's time, but so Jacob Lynn was a young kid that we had placed in an internship opportunity at Thornhill. That's the adult education center in Frankfort. And he was very hard to serve and we loved him dearly, but he had a lot of barriers and we addressed lots of them. But we took all hands on deck. And so our business service consultant, Tamara, and then the case manager, Shaylee, ended up going on site at Thornhill and meeting with the Thornhill staff and Jacob and them and coming up with a plan. And ultimately they connected him to Bluegrass Career Services so that he can have like a lifetime mentor because that's exactly what he's going to need. And so I just thought it's just a true success of how we took somebody that needed that extra support in the community. But anyway, that's the report. I'll answer any questions if you all have them.
I have a couple of questions. Just for our new folks that have joined us, can you, in the beginning, you talked about WEX numbers. Can you just tell them a little bit about what that means?
Absolutely. So WEX, and you'll hear it called a lot of different terminology. So sometimes we call it WEX, sometimes we call it transitional, sometimes it's internships, but sometimes we call it work-based learning. But essentially all it is, it's a 480 paid internship opportunity. So it's whenever a job seeker comes to us and they can't get on at a certain place, we go to that company and we sign an agreement with them, and that job seeker gets placed there, and we pay their salary. So Equus would cover their workers' comp, their any liability, and we pay their salary up to 480 hours with the intent that the employer loves them and retains them upon completion of those training hours.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Quarterly exit credentials.
Yeah, so that's a good question too. So what we call an exit, so an exit means that the participant has reached the goal of our program. So if we've enrolled them, we only count the exits that we enroll. So if we've enrolled them and they reach the goal of the program, which is suitable employment, we exit them off our caseload.
Are we 15 out of 15 or 5 out of 5?
I know, I just saw that. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
That is 5 out of 5. And so the credential number means that upon exit, anybody that we have funded for the credential. So that's when we actually count those credential numbers, is upon exit. So like those credentials could have been earned before October, but we counted upon exit. So upon exit, we had 100% credential rate of the ones we exited. And that's a really low number because I just counted up for for November today, and we have 18. So 18 is a big exit number for a month.
So thank you. I still think that's a great number, but yeah.
I think 1 is a great number, but anybody that we help makes a difference in the community for sure.
Jennifer, can you share what the Recovery Life Center in Boyle County, what services they offer and how you work with them?
Of course. So that is a new center that we've just started partnering with. Shaylee Reed is the case manager that's going in there. And so far the services have just been employability workshops. So she's going in like for the month. I know that she went in October, and she's been in November, just to provide resume assistance. And what it could turn into is that a few of those individuals could be enrolled and placed into a work-based learning, so the paid internship. And how we could do that with them is we have some Quest money. So you all have heard us talk about the Quest grant before. And the Quest grant, originally it was written for us to partner Shepherd's House recovery people into Clay Ingalls in Lexington. So it was to do paid internships between the Shepherd's House guys into Clay Ingalls. But the grant said that we would do 30 we included that it would provide work-based learning for 30 job seekers over 2 years, and we weren't getting enough numbers from Shepherds. So I talked to Shaylee today about that center that you're referencing, Donna, and said we might can do a few paid internships. So if those individuals need to go to work, we pay for the salary for 480 hours.
And for a little bit of clarification, it's not that Shepherd's House has done anything wrong at all.
Right.
What it is David that works there knows, like he's been in recovery, worked with recovery for a long time, not to send someone to us before they're ready, right? So some individuals that are there just having a harder time getting ready. So
Yeah.
Ugly part of it is we got grant money we got to spend by a certain day, right? I wish we could wait on those individuals to get ready. There's still money set aside, you know what I mean, for those, but we had to expand it out. So just to open it up to a few more recovery centers to try to get those funds expanded.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And recovery centers are very hard to serve, but we love serving them. And so whether or not we serve Shepherds with that Quest money all the way, we're still going to be on site helping them any way we can.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you all for the
thank
questions.
I sent her a referral this past month as well, so thank you for your hard work.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Anybody else got questions for Jennifer? Current's hot is the reason why I enjoy, the outcome, get to hear the good stuff. But that's what we're here for, right? In those recovery centers, a few of those as success stories, futures, that's just golden for what we do, right? So with that, open it up for open discussion. Anybody got something good to say? Bad to say?
Well, I have one thing that, I'm gonna hand off to Robin about. It is about the joint training. We're getting ready to call on you, offer some stuff. For some ideas. Go, Robin.
So as I said before, you guys are the decision makers this year. So I've been looking at places for us to meet, and we're trying to go to all the counties, but then always have a reserve. So basically I'm like looking at a couple others and then also looking at Fayette and Madison in case nothing else works out. But we need a place to host about 50 people with the ability to serve at least a box lunch, something like that. So what I've looked at Clark and Georgetown and Fayette and Bourbon actually, and, the thing I'm running into on some of those is at the co-op offices. A couple of those I talked to co-op offices, the Georgetown is a library, but they can't tell you for sure until just 3 months ahead, which is okay, but we really prefer to have everything decided so we can be working on it more. So just wanted to ask you guys if you have any suggestions, anything in your areas that might be a potential for that. We did last year, for those of you who were there, we were at the KCTCS office in Versailles, which was really nice, We've done, hotels before, but they're pricey, so found that a lot of places have no charge, so.
Well, the KCTCS and, or BCTC, I think, in Clark, will their new facility be open?
And I haven't been able to actually get in touch with them, so they're on my list to still check with.
I get you.
They'll be in their new space, but my understanding is only half of that building's gonna be renovated at that time. And they're kind of overrun with nursing, so it depends on, this is in September, right? So some classes are gonna be in. I can also look for you to see if there's anything available. I know we have the conference center at the Leestown campus that would accommodate that many, if that as an option.
Yeah, that is an option, yeah,
I can look at both those spaces.
okay, that would be great, appreciate
We
I
have,
did see
Intercounty Energy, our, local, energy co-op, has a meeting room that would accommodate, it accommodates up to 100.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah.
And where's that at? Which county was that?
Danville County.
Okay.
We have a new facility that we will be opening in February. And it is a beautiful facility. The back half of the building, it was the old Mitchell Toll Art Gallery before. So we spent a fortune renovating that and getting it gutted and redone. The back part will be a conference space accommodating up to 100 people with a full service kitchen for all sorts of catering or whatever might need.
Oh, that'd be very impressive then.
The front
Sounds
part
awesome.
would be, it's opening February, so we can keep that one on the list as well.
Okay, definitely.
To shop, it'll be beautiful gallery to walk through, we have plenty of parking, 75 parking spaces.
Easy to get to.
Yes, and we have a file this thick, people are already asking for dates, so, I'll just put ours in there.
I was gonna say, you just
like
through.
You don't just talk real quick.
Yeah. I'll talk.
And I would just say too, as far as trainings go, I mean, I appreciated all the conversation and the presentations. I mean, and that's always educational, but I still think about that role play that we did. I normally hate role plays. They're uncomfortable. I like to sit in my chair, just and not talk a lot of times. But that was just really, really interesting and kind of putting yourself in the place of an incarcerated person and how they navigate was, anyway, it was really powerful. I just, anything like that is really, really impactful.
I agree, that stuff with me, that opened my eyes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're glad that you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
You learned a lot.
So someone got a venue, at least a top choice. Did anybody not go to jail during that? You did not? You must have started out with a big bunch of money then.
Couldn't pay my rent, I couldn't, go back and get my job back, you know. Yeah.
I couldn't pay the drug test, but I think I did the drug test.
And you kept your job.
I went to jail because I kept getting tattoos, so I couldn't sell my plasma, and I'm just like, are you like, oh, all right,
Well, we had a ball in jail. It was a lot of fun.
yeah.
That was a fun job.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, they don't want you people to get out from my early.
I had the
It was
pleasure
out.
of being in.
We are making light. It was very eye-opening.
Well, I think, open discussion, here's what I'll say, it's getting, we just passed Thanksgiving. And everybody's looking at Christmas right now. Christmas been in the stores for the last, month? So, I will say, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody. And I'll see some of you between now and Christmas, but the rest of you, hope you have a great holiday.
Thank
With that,
you.
we're looking
too.
for a motion. We have to have a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
A second, Connie.